Day 7, December 2023. We will make our movement today quite simple, quite clear. Keeping this effort that we are doing as object and goals, considering the rational architecture that helps the sage, and we are using, as suggested, to use the new thing, and we will unveil blind eye association, criminal association by act or silence, and we had conviction required, because in general we will observe that criminal groups on architecture are using all resources and all institutions and all things as misused. At the functional level is a misconduct, but since qualified as criminal behavior, it's a criminal intent or a crime inside an organization, an institution, as a state or wherever, a company is always organized crime. December 5 and 6, CGQM, considering all effort made, offered, reasons, and required criminal conviction after formally presented as judicial accusation, because this is a compliance. It's a compliance yet. As judicial accusation, USA, Europe. Observed the International Criminal Court. December 6, CGQM offered also proved how power misuses can modify context of cognition. Not only at criminal area or judicial system. Right? Today is day 7. We will keep moving. CGQM offered we will be the next thing. The rational architecture for cognition and prevention of bias, segmented as current OC need, because they need a fake record made by specific hands-on institution to cover themselves, and it's made by industrial portfolio her as value at least as utility, because indeed we have the reduced capacity of the effort made, or we shouldn't be here by notorious facts. It implies that the effort is not enough. So You probably considered more tests, but which was the motivation of more tests if something is notorious? I will take a read at the blog Risk Report 2023 tracedecember.blogspot.com. CGQM Survival Strategy, International Criminal Court, Antitrust Justice Orders, and required criminal conviction of all offenders at crime system, especially that peers qualified by criminal ties and power, which is a specific tie, and broadcast as transparency need, the listed name, which is a credit to right, to do not have the relation of them covered by institution, and enough elements to identify and qualify all listed as authority at OC service or leading the scams kicked from obstruction, which are gateways, no all object complained as local and international power misuse or crimes that can be made at local in general and by a local authority or an international authority or criminal whatever. 10 years of interference, modifying SYS, reason, etc. We request the conviction of all from obstruction. Brazil law is just a reference, no complaint at the criminal system, nor we are boosting the intelligence of who made the crime, do the records, receive the complaint, and put the criminal activity not the error. Systematically made talk since 2014, and we are down here complaining the same thing with a huge complexity as we will observe very soon. Semi-offenders no all current also need fake data, cretinismus brasilis is a fact. CGQM are acting by survival strategy as financial regression executed self-protection based on created theory against solitary misuse of power by states and institutions caught not only by crimes on public budget in Brazil but also at events internationally complained at least since 2014 against the same offenders currently redistributed at major arena of decision, permutation, multi-level Ponzi scam, but is still acting by criminal goals like interference and misconduct systematically made, generally by complementary architecture of internal risks, corruption, against essential basic rights or guarantees that can't be suppressed or hurt in Brazil, and by this having no excuse to be offered by the offender, especially as criminal use of regular power to build a parallel architecture of power and have the conformity of this criminal system including judicial activism. We require the criminal conviction, it's on the top, you please take a look, and we offer the evidence against all misconduct systematically made from institutions and states that kept power misused by silence in Brazil or with Brazil, which was proved as a position made for criminal ways and purpose covered by fake records and abusive procedure, has the law reference in Brazil 13,869 combined with law 12,850 article 1 and 2 and article 313A with 13 of criminal law, it's blind eye and fake records, the gap at cognition at records made, especially public, and have compromised the transparency required on Article 5 Guarantee 33, including discretion, the commitment as Republic with development of mankind, which needs the safe information and data to do the decision for development, but since subsidiary fake and totally integrated as criminal on budget, considered transnational organized criminal reliability on it, regression as risk by Article 37, paragraph number 6, as in the way we do against institution to have the offenders. We exposed yet even more elements of institutional and state power misuses qualified as harassment of individual basic rights or essential guarantees. You will observe that sometimes we are suffering real-time interference by multiples elements doing the interference and sometimes modifying things in the moment we are doing. suppressing, for instance, letters or elements of the reason or the text, whatever. But it's the main thing, since having this from the beginning, is get a self-defense. We will expose this at the model very soon. Exposed yet even more elements of institution and state power, qualified harassment of individual basic rights or essential guarantees as privacy or feelings, private life or family circles, and attributes of health, personality, based on misconcepts, defamation, push you or circles or interests or effort as criminals. In general, we observe that they who hold the power has the power to do a lot of things. But if all things are wrong, indeed they must be called to responsibility of all things wrong. There are no power without responsibility. Like the Spider-Man talk. If you had a tremendous power, you have a tremendous, responsibility and consequence by misconduct. We exposed also how the free expression of intellectual activity applied as anti-crime back office or international contribution against crime is easily suppressed, communication cut, annihilation, whatever, and by this was offered this extra explanation in order to have set even stronger the link or causal relation, which is the one of the conditions sine qua non, that indeed if this is not happening, we probably wouldn't have the crime and the complaint about power misuse and criminals at the institution or state as a unique and necessary event. You only have the criminal institution if you have criminals inside. You only have criminal states or criminal use of states if you have criminals inside. It's a self-incrimination, do this kind of thing, so they need a fake evidence. And expose at this pathway how the utility of our theory and models helped to demonstrate at least the risk, and by this we had the reduced capacity of this effort that indeed is an image of the receiver as cognition, that they blind to do not accept that the criminal institution or state only goes by criminals inside, right? It's not a privilege of Brazil, the cretinism of Brazilians. And against intellectual activity and freedom of thoughts as part of criminal purpose, as part of criminal purpose at the institution and state, with misusers at the chair levels. We exposed at this causal relation logical proof that asset applied at the industry against crime or for a better security will be threatened by internal fails combined at least goals or hierarchy of purpose, multi-level, Ponzi scam, functional corruption. Considering piracy, fake currency, and economic espionage, the parallel economic mainstream indeed is presented here, and the strike made by this portfolio sourced the self-defense. We will stop here and move for the next month.